Well, hello everyone. I am Dr. Rochelle Clark and I'm the Superintendent for Decatur Public Schools. And with me are my junior board members. I'm going to let them introduce themselves and then we're going to get started. Let's start over here.
Hello, my name is Azarian Perry. I am a senior at Eisenhower High School.
Tell me what you do.
I play baseball. I'm a junior board member at Eisenhower, so I basically listen to things about from students to teachers and all faculty to see the changes possibly they want done inside the schools.
Okay.
My name's Sydney Walker. I'm a senior at Eisenhower and I'm also student ambassador. I play volleyball and I've been participating in cheer, both of those for all 4 years. And
I'm Lily Rinchuso. I'm a junior at MacArthur High School. I'm a student ambassador, and I also run cross country and do community theater.
Okay, well, thank you all for joining me today. Today, we're going to talk about discipline in the schools. And so, some information that you may not know or you are familiar with, but I know the public does know that we've had 11 expulsions this year. And so, what that means is that students are expelled from school either with a stay, meaning they get to stay for alternative placement, or without a stay, meaning they have to find education outside of the district. But most of this is due to gross disrupted behavior in the school setting, like fighting. And I mean, not just a regular fight, like one of your major fights. So let's talk about what that looks like for you when you're in school. And anybody can start.
I would say, which I'm learning.
Yes, for the learning piece.
I feel like learning is a valuable piece because that's essential what we come to school for is to get our education to progress to our next stage in life, which could be college, trade school, over whatever it would be. We just want to make sure our classrooms and staff members and students have a safe environment to learn and work in. We want to make sure that happens. If we have a disruption in the classroom or somewhere around the school, we want to make sure that we can get that drawn away from the good, positive, and students and teachers so they can make sure they can do and work and learn fluently in a good environment.
Okay, what about you?
I agree with AZ. On a positive note, our school, I go to Eisenhower, we've been doing a really good job at keeping the fights away from learning. I know almost 9 times out of 10 if there is a fight, I'm not aware of it because I'm in class. So I feel like if you're where you're supposed to be at the right time, you will not be involved or engaged in those fights. So our school does a really good job at keeping those separate from the learning.
I do agree with Sydney and AZ as well. Me personally, I try to stay away from that stuff as much as possible, so I usually don't hear about fights until after they happen. But it is sad to hear from my friends that, they got stuck in a class or a bathroom for 20, 30 minutes because there was a fight and they couldn't make it to class, or they had to get sent home because they got caught up in the middle of it and they aren't feeling well now. So I feel like overall our schools have been doing a bit better with fights and keeping it separate from everything, but it is still upsetting to me to hear whenever a fight does happen.
Has any of your friends been involved in a fight in the past year or so?
Me, I would say no.
So where do you think these fights are stemming from? Like if it's not someone you know, then how is it happening?
I feel like there's a lot of unbuilt animosity in school. I feel like some students want to come to school for not the intention to learn, but start up things that shouldn't be started in school. And I would say that like apps like Snapchat is a huge factor of putting fire onto a hot situation, which could lead up to coming to school to be in a hostile environment, which could lead to a bad fight.
Okay. What about you guys?
I agree with AZ. I feel like fighting comes to school a lot because a lot of the kids know that it will get broken up at school versus if you do it outside of school, which is good to them, but it's bad for our school and it puts a negative toll on us. And oh wait, I had something else. Okay, you can go. I forgot it.
I feel like our student body isn't as active in participating in school as much as they could be. I feel like there's lots of really good positive programs and classes that you can take, but students aren't putting their energy into that. They're putting their energy into things outside of school. Like, I definitely, have negative emotions that I need to deal with, but I go and I, compete in school sports and stuff. I feel like students need to channel that energy because it can be used for good, just they're not doing it the correct way right now.
Do you see more negativity in the lower grades or the upper grades?
Me personally, I'm gonna say it's kind of in the middle, hitting from that underclassmen to upperclassmen level. Some more times people say it's freshmen coming from middle school, but it's starting to see like in the middle from kids. I want to say from being immature into maturing as students, and I'm gonna say that uh, for the most part, I'm seeing a upbringing on the behavior, but it's still that little lower level of them transforming up there that's getting into altercations. I don't know if they want to become a name for themselves inside high school, but I'm trying to let them know. And I feel like the capable of schools and Dr. Clark should just let these kids know that we're just trying to help you learn, and that was school for. School's not here to horseplay, gossip about each other. We're just here to just prepare you for your life so you can one day start your family and be very successful and create something new in this world that we haven't seen before.
Outstanding.
I see a lot of the fights coming from underclassmen. High school, you have a bit more freedom, and I feel like those underclassmen take advantage of that, and they skip class or they'll go fight during passing periods, and a lot of them are underclassmen.
I also feel like it's mainly underclassmen. It's kind of a sad statistic, I feel, because I feel like by the time you hit junior and senior year, the kids that are, fighting and causing these issues by then just kind of stop showing up to school. Really, you don't see too many juniors or seniors in the building unless they're actually there ready to learn and do what they need to do.
So I heard you say a lot of immaturity and, with the younger people coming on board, like your freshmen, some of your sophomores. But I also know you guys are active in your schools and you try to talk to kids. So what is that like?
I want to say I had a situation the other day. Instead of students talking to each other, like putting fire on the incident, he talked to me about it, and then I was able to address it to our administration and to counselors. I want to say our counselors are working endlessly to make sure not only from helping us to where we get what we need in school, but emotionally, if you're coming having a bad day, if you need to talk about a situation with another student, they are here to essentially just help with all of that. They take a very good job. I was able to get the situation to where it is positive and good, and both students are on good terms now. So it's small things, that can get taken down because it won't have to get as big to where we're fighting, arguing, and just stuff like that. So it's positive.
Okay.
We have a great support system at our school, teachers, admin, even security guards. I know a lot of the kids that get in trouble a lot, they have a great relationship with the security guards because they're being dealt with them a lot. And I think that helps them because the security guards push them in the right direction, and so does our admin. Our admin is always open to listen. They don't just jump right to the referral or everything. I hear them all the time asking them why did this happen, let me hear your side of the story. So everyone in our building is really open.
I feel like something that could potentially help is not everyone is really suited for a traditional basic high school experience, which that's okay. We have lots of really great programs in the district, like our Ag Academy and our Tech Academy. But the thing is, you have to be on good behavior to get to that. So if you know right now you're like, this high school thing, like the traditional 8 class periods, getting my English, my math, my science, if that's not really working out for you, if you find yourself stressed, just know, keep your head up, keep doing your work, stay out of trouble, because when you hit your junior year, you're going to have so many more opportunities opened up for you, and you really don't want to miss out on that.
Okay, that's good advice, actually. So when I am dealing with a lot of the discipline, like I said, my part is to make sure you have a safe learning environment. And so when I expel these kids from school, do you have any chatter that is going around that will possibly deter that type of behavior again, or do you think it's even helping to remove those kids from that setting?
I feel like it does. Like the incident I was telling you about, one of the parents was being a good positive about the situation, letting the student know that if something were to happen, you can have the risk of getting expelled from the school district. And she realized that what her mother was saying was right, because at the end of the day, we want you to be here to learn. We don't want you to have to go to a different county or another school district to get your education. We can get it right here in Decatur, Illinois.
I agree with him. I feel like we give a lot of chances in DPS, and these kids are going to continue to push and push until you finally have to expel them. And at school, there is a difference when those kids aren't there. There's less fights, there's less interruptions. It makes a big difference, and at some point, you have to expel them.
I can tell that the school has really, and the district as a whole has really doubled down on disciplinary actions for like physical fights and everything, and I feel like it does definitely make an impact, but I wouldn't say I really hear chatter about it. But I mean, that goes to show lots of these kids are getting into fights because they want to be known as the top dog on campus, but I'm sorry, I don't know any of your names. Like, there's no reason to be fighting.
That makes a lot of sense. So you said a lot about what the staff is doing to help, and you can go to them and talk to them. But what are some positive things that are happening, in the schools? Like, are you having fun even in the midst of all of this?
I want to say Eisenhower, yes. On the way to class, I want to say within the last 30 seconds, we have some positive songs that'll motivate you to actually get to class on time. And then through the hallways, I'll be dancing. You see other students and peers singing and dancing to the song also. So it's like, I'm going to go to class. And then I feel like that also brighten moods to kids. Just put a smile on their face that, all right, my last hour might not has been what you want it to be, but your next hour could be positive. And just to open our eyes, we have different programs, sports. We have a Panther Den to cheer for your team if you're not essentially a sports player. But if you just like to cheer on your team and not want to be a cheerleader, we have a Panther Den. We just have a lot of things, not really directly to sports, but we have a lot of things that could help you just have fun in high school. And that's what our main goal is.
Yeah, our school is very fun. In the past couple years, our good definitely outweighs the bad. We have tons of school spirit. Like he said, our Panther Den, we go all out. We have themes, we dress up. Our homecoming was a blast. We sold I think we had over 500 kids there. It was amazing. We didn't get rid of Panther Pride so anyone could attend, and I think that allowed the students that maybe were off level in previous years, they got to experience something that they wouldn't have years before because of Panther Pride. So I feel like that's also helped behavior and fundraisers because those kids now have something to work towards.
Something I noticed at MacArthur is the really tight-knit groups between the different departments for the teachers. Like the history department on Friday, they all dressed up in costumes, and one of them was dressed as an alien, and he just stood in the hallways being all intimidating. It was really funny. The science department seems like just the coolest group of best friends that you'd constantly want to be hanging out with, and all the teachers are super supportive too. Like, so many of my teachers have shown up to different sporting events or activities that I'm in just to cheer me on and support me. So it's really good to see the positive effects of education.
That's good. So anything else that you want to add before we wrap up?
I just want to say that we're headed towards a positive direction, just to finish the school year strongly in the best way possible.
Okay. Anything else?
I'd like to say that I know that sometimes DPS, especially MacArthur and Eisenhower, can get a lot of flack. I know that better than anyone else because I know a whole bunch of people from other schools and everything, but I feel like there is so much good that's happening at these two high schools, and I really wish that people will get to see it. So, maybe try to look out for some students in the community, ask them what they're doing, because I feel like the good definitely outweighs the bad at these schools.
I couldn't agree with you more. It is absolutely amazing to be here in DPS. I want to thank you all for joining me. I look forward to more talks, and have a good rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You too.